Instagram has over 2 billion monthly active users, making it one of the richest sources of public data on the internet. I mean, from public profiles and post engagement to hashtag trends and competitor content, there's a lot of valuable information businesses and researchers can learn from. But there is a challenge. Instagram is also one of the hardest websites to script successfully. I mean, a basic scripting script usually gets blocked almost immediately, and that's because Instagram checks things like your browser fingerprint, the reputation of your IP address, and how fast you are making such requests. And on top of that, most of the content loads dynamically, so a simple download tool can often return an empty page instead of the information you were looking for. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Instagram scripting the right way, step by step, even if you've never scripted a website before. So make sure you watch until the end of this video. I'm going to show you a complete Instagram scripting setup, how to keep both your IP addresses and browser fingerprint looking natural to reduce the chances of getting blocked, and how you can also claim 2 GB of free proxies to help you get started. By the end of this video, you will have a workflow you can confidently use for your own scripting project directly on Instagram. So let's get into it. Alright, so what can you actually scrape from Instagram? I mean, from public profiles, you can collect usernames, followers, and following account. You can see the bio text and whether the account is verified or business profile. You can also scrape post data, including captions, likes, comment count, hashtags. So whether it's an image, video, or reel, and the date it was posted. And also for the comment section, there are other valuable source of data you can be getting. You can collect the commenter's username, just like what you're seeing, the comment itself, likes on the comment, and also any public replies. You can also scrape hashtag pages to discover trending posts and see how active a particular hashtag is. Now, businesses get to use this data for things like brand monitoring, influencer research, competitor analysis, trend tracking, also sentiment analysis, and marketing research. Now, one quick note you should always have before you start is to make sure to stick to publicly available data. Instagram restricts automated data collection, so make sure you understand the platform rules and also avoid collecting personal data without a valid legal reason. So right now, let me get to answer this question: why is Instagram so difficult to scrape? Now, it comes down to 3 main layers of protection. Number 1 layer is this dynamic content. Now, Instagram uses JavaScript to build most of the page after it loads. So if you're using a basic scripting tool that only downloads the page's sources code, you will usually end up with almost an empty page because the post, comment, and engagement data haven't loaded yet. Number 2 layer is IP reputation. Instagram keeps a track record of how trustworthy every IP address is. So data center IPs are much more easier to detect because they come from servers instead of real homes, and free proxies often get flagged even way more faster. And the third layer is this fingerprint detection and rate limits. Instagram also looks at your browser fingerprint, things like your screen size, your fonts, your graphics, and other browsing details, all right, to decide whether you look like a real user or probably you're a bot. So if your fingerprint looks suspicious or you're sending requests too quickly, Instagram will slow you down or block your request altogether. So right now at this point, I know you'll be wondering, why not just use Instagram official API, right? The answer is simple. Instagram API is mainly designed for your business account. So it requires permissions and app approval, and it doesn't give you the same access to public profiles, posts, and comments that you can collect through scraping. So if you're doing research across public accounts you don't own, whether it's competitor analysis, trend tracking, or influencer research, the official API isn't simply enough. So right here is the fun part you all have been waiting for. To script Instagram reliably, you need an anti-detect browser. Now think of it as a browser designed to make each section look like it's coming from a different real user. So it solves the 3 biggest challenges all at once. 1, it fully loads JavaScript content. Number 2, it gives every browser profile a unique fingerprint. And number 3, lets you use proxies to browse from different IP addresses. Now there are quite a number of anti-detect browser you can choose from, but for me, I will be using GoLogin because it's quick to set up, automatically helps me configure my profile based on the proxy, and makes it easy for me to run multiple browser profiles at the same time. But the same principles apply no matter which anti-detect browser tool you're trying to make use of. So let me show you how to set this up exactly in GoLogin. So right now on Go Login, all you need to do is to create a new browser profile in your Go Login account, and you want to give it a name like Instagram Research. Now you need to attach a residential proxy. You can choose from the preferred location, and once you do that, you need to also check that the proxy is working perfectly. Then you want to click on Create, and once you click on Create, you can also launch your browsing profile. Now one thing you don't have to worry about is your time zone, your language, or also your geolocation. Go Login automatically helps you match those settings to your proxy. So that's important because if your IP is saying you're coming from the US and your time zone says India, Instagram can easily spot that mismatch. So before you start scraping, you need to also come over to ipa.com in the same browser profile. Now, this helps you check the same signals Instagram looks at, including your IP type, your fingerprint consistency, your WebRTC links, and whether your time zone matches your proxy location. So if everything shows green, it means you're good to go. Now, you need to go ahead and open up any public Instagram profile. Because Go Login uses a real browser, the page loads completely, including the post, engagement data, and also other JavaScript content. Now, this works because all your signals are consistent. I mean, a real residential IP, a realistic browser fingerprint, and the normal browsing behavior all makes the section looks like a real user. So if IPA shows any red warnings, you need to regenerate the browser profile. And if your proxy isn't connecting, you need to make sure you double check that to see that the proxy is good before moving on. And if you want to run another scripting section, or you're trying to avoid hitting your IP limit, you can simply create another Go Login profile with a different proxy. Each profile works independently, so Instagram sees them as different users. So when you're scraping Instagram, pacing really matters just as your setup. Now, you need to add random delays of about 5 to 10 seconds between page loads. You need to also avoid fixed intervals because predictable patterns are much more easier to detect. And you also need to stop jumping straight into a large script. I mean, you can start with around 10 profiles as a start. Make sure the follower count, the post details, and comment are loading correctly. So if the data looks incomplete, empty, or outdated, you need to fix the issue before scaling up. Now, one thing you should also keep in mind is cost. Residential processes are usually 3 to 5 times more expensive than data center process, but that's the trade-off for much more better reliability on Instagram. Now, data center IPs are often detected almost immediately. So if you want to have a consistent result, residential processes are well worth the investment. All right, so let's clear up some common myths. Now, myth number one is this: a simple download tool can script Instagram. Not really, okay, because Instagram loads most of its content with JavaScript. So a basic scraper usually gets an almost empty page, and that's why you need a real browser. Myth number two is this: Instagram's official API gives you everything. It doesn't actually, because it's mainly designed for your own business account and requires app approval. So if you want public profile data, competitors' posts, or hashtag insight, scraping is still the best option. And myth number three: most browser sessions always mean faster result. In reality, Instagram watches how very quick you are making your request and how many sections you're running at once. So a 3 well-paced browser profiles will usually perform much more better than 10 aggressive ones. Now, what changes based on your use cases? So if you're doing a one-time research project, you want to make sure you keep it simple. Use 1 or 2 of Go Login's profile, scrape the data you need, and you're done. But if you're monitoring Instagram almost every single day, you need to try to reuse the same Go Login profile for the same target. Over time, Instagram is more likely to trust a browser that looks like a returning user than one with a brand new fingerprint every day. And finally, if Instagram starts returning blank or empty pages, your IP has probably been flagged. So you need to switch to a fresh residential proxy and verify everything again on IPA. And if captures start appearing while you're scraping, you're probably moving too fast, so you need to reduce the browser sessions and also increase your delays to around 10 to 15 seconds. And if your data looks outdated or the engagement number stops changing, you've likely been soft blocked. That means Instagram is serving inaccurate data instead of blocking you outright. So when that happens, try switching to a new IP, slow down your scraping speed, and recheck your browser fingerprint before continuing. So right now, if you'd like to use the same Instagram scraping setup I showed in this video, check out the link in the video description or the pinned comment. You can also use my promo code to get a 40% off Go Login and claim 2 GB worth couple of free proxies to help you get started. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like, and if you have any question, drop them in the comment. I'll read them and also get to answer you. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Please take care of yourself, and bye.